Do you ever wake up wondering how someone with so much potential can still feel so stuck in an average life? You know deep down you're meant for more, but fear, inconsistency, and the noise of mediocrity around you keep pulling you back. You start strong, get excited, but somewhere along the way, you fade. And the dream? It fades with you. But not today, because today is a new opportunity, an opportunity to rise above average and step into fortune. Here's the truth. Success isn't reserved for a lucky few. It's not about luck. It's not just about talent. It's about the daily choices you make, the mindset you build, the habits you repeat, and the action you take, especially when no one's watching. Today, I'm giving you 5 steps, not theories, not fluff, real principles that will take you from stuck to unstoppable. If you want me to break down each step to help you become the best version of yourself, disciplined, focused, mentally strong, and surrounded by people who push you forward, drop a comment with the number 9 and hit that subscribe button now. This is your moment. Let's move. Mastering your thinking is the first step. You may either use your thoughts to your advantage or use it against you. Throughout history, this reality has played a significant role in shaping people's fates. What separates the exceptional from the ordinary is not only brains or dogged perseverance. The strength of their mentality is the primary factor. Even Henry Ford's own technical staff opposed his plans to build the groundbreaking V8 engine. They maintained that coming up with such an engine design was an insurmountable obstacle, one that could never be fulfilled with the available resources and technology at that time. Rather of compromising or reducing his aspirations, Ford remained resolute. No matter how many times it took, he told his engineers to find a method. They kept telling Ford it couldn't be done, but Ford would have none of it. He was adamant about everyone's dogged determination because he had faith in the possibility of victory. That doggedness eventually yielded results. Engineers were ultimately able to come up with a practical answer because to Ford's persistent pushing and his unfaltering trust. As a consequence, the car industry was forever altered by the legendary Ford V8 engine. The importance of self-control and concentration is highlighted in this narrative. Being able to keep believing in your vision despite others doubting it time and time again is a skill that Ford mastered, and it shows how changing your thinking can change your life and the world around you. Think about 2 people who are relatively equal in terms of their abilities, experiences, and opportunities. When you can turn every obstacle into an opportunity, you will reach new heights of accomplishment. The other one is still stuck in mediocrity, held back by self-doubt and constraints. How is it different? That's how they think. With each action and choice, it acts as an internal compass. Most people just go through life, responding to things as they happen. Their emotions, energy, and behavior are controlled by external factors. They stop actively shaping their own fate and instead sit on the sidelines. While most people let their minds wander, exceptional people actively shape their mental landscape. Aspirational people actively mold their ideas, beliefs, and emotions to achieve their goals. Your thoughts are like a lush garden. Just for a second, see your ideas as seeds. Your mental garden will quickly become overrun with weeds, meaningless and detrimental debris that stifles opportunity and potential. If you sow seeds of pessimism, anxiety, and uncertainty. However, a flourishing forest of possibility, strength, and resilience may be nurtured by sowing the seeds of self-confidence, self-discipline, and self-belief. Each day, you get to decide which seeds to sow. But how exactly do you go about selecting these seeds? The mind is a work in progress. Your dominant ideas form it, and it is always being remade. To a large extent, you are responsible for maintaining the scenery in your own mind. Even little habits of thinking every day add up to big results in the long run. The strength of your mind is directly correlated to the quality of your thoughts. First, let's take a look at how negative ideas may ruin your life. Anxieties and uncertainty stifle drive and determination. When you tell yourself again and over, "I can't," "I'm not good enough," or "it's impossible," you build mental walls that prevent you from achieving your goals. Repetition makes these obstacles stronger, making even easy activities seem impossible. Because they have already persuaded themselves that they would fail, these people seldom achieve their full potential. This is in stark contrast to an optimistic and growth-oriented frame of mind. When you constantly ask yourself, "How can I achieve this?" or "Isn't there a solution to every problem?" you'll find opportunities that others overlook. With this outlook, failures are not seen as failures at all, but as opportunities for growth and improvement. These individuals remain resolute in the face of hardship, but they go forth with self-assurance, fortified by their resiliency and ingenuity. A person's thoughts were the birthplace of every wealth that has ever been. It all started with a strong mental picture, a firm conviction, and a steadfast dedication to that goal. These aren't just random occurrences. They are the calculated results of methodical planning and unshakable confidence in one's talents. What set them apart was not only their innate brilliance or access to material riches, but also their extraordinary capacity to train their minds to think in a certain way. They conditioned themselves to see possibilities when others saw nothing but obstacles. Even when others cast doubt on or rejected their views, they trained their brains to be firm in their convictions. These remarkable people realized that the inner struggle is more important than the outside struggle when it comes to winning the war. Mastering your thoughts is the first step on the road from mediocrity to prosperity. To start, make an effort to stop talking negatively to yourself and doubting your abilities. If you find yourself repeating "I can't" too often, try replacing it with "How can I?" Instead, then focusing on the constraints, try to see the opportunities. Instead, then focusing on the problems you have, ask yourself, "How can I?" to get your subconscious mind working creatively and finding answers. Bear in mind that once one's thinking is challenged by new concepts, it is never the same. Your potential for achievement grows as you push the limits of your mind with each optimistic notion. A solid foundation of faith, self-control, and self-assurance may sustain you through any challenge. You must practice every day. Your mind needs constant care and training, just like your body. Give it what it needs by immersing yourself in uplifting literature, ideas, and conversations. If you want to change your personality for the better, hang out with people who already have such qualities. The weeds that swiftly choke ambition are negativity and criticism. Therefore, guard your thoughts vigilantly against them. Another powerful skill for managing your mentality is the power of visualization. Oftentimes, picture yourself having the accomplishment you want and feel it in your heart. The emotional underpinnings of the subconscious mind make it unable to differentiate between real life and fantastical fantasies. As a result, if you want to achieve your goals, you need to train your mind to see success as inevitable via regular visualization. Also, positive self-talk serves to further solidify this pattern of thought. Use affirmations like, "I can," "I will overcome obstacles," I will find a solution, and success will come to me easily on a regular basis. Even while these affirmations don't seem natural or genuine at first, as you repeat them over and over again, they get ingrained in your subconscious, changing your self-insurance and making your actions conform to your beliefs. When you have mastered your thinking, you may also learn to see setbacks as chances for progress. A positive outlook doesn't run away from challenges. On the contrary, it seeks them out, since that's when you learn and develop the most. The key to overcoming every obstacle is to see it as a stepping stone to an even bigger reward. By changing your perspective from difficulties to possibilities, this mindset may help you turn setbacks into opportunities. Being grateful should be your last goal. Expressing gratitude is like watering a garden. It grows every good idea you plant, with the help of sunshine and rain. You can develop an abundance mentality and train your subconscious to bring more of what you value into your life by consistently recognizing and appreciating your blessings, no matter how large or little. What separates the mediocre from the spectacular is, in the end, your frame of mind. To succeed or fail, it is the one and only determinant. A positive development? You are fully capable of mastering this formidable ability. Any way of thinking may lead you to your desired prosperity. Every belief can open doors, and every idea can be a decision. Make the intentional decision to take control of your mentality now. Opt for a growth mindset, discipline, and optimism. Carefully sow these seeds every day and give them plenty of water. Your imagination has tremendous power, and before you know it, you'll be standing in a lush forest of opportunities, riches, and satisfaction. Step 2. Dare to dream big. The ordinary person sets modest objectives. Solace is their goal. They agree to terms. For them, stability is more important than expansion. Trouble, danger, and the unknown all put them on high alert. But successful people, those who leave an indelible mark on history, often aim for things that make them uneasy. Objectives that challenge them. Objectives that push people to grow beyond where they were the day before. Aiming for anything should both thrill and scare you. You aren't setting standards high enough if your ambitions don't terrify you. Your aspirations aren't big enough if they don't make you nervous and sweaty. Whoever dared to dream bigger than themselves accomplished more than anybody else in history. Having a big enough dream is not what separates the ordinary from the remarkable. It lies in the dedication to it. Achieving one's goals is a human desire. Hardly anybody does it. And dedication entails more than winging it or working whenever the mood strikes you. Determination entails setting due dates for your aspirations. It entails dividing that enormous objective into manageable, non-negotiable daily tasks. Aiming after something without doing something about it is like having a dream without a strategy. Suppose your goal is to amass $1 million. That's a really large and frightening figure. When taken in its whole, it seems insurmountable. Nevertheless, what if we were to dissect it? On a yearly, monthly, weekly, or even daily basis, what is the minimum amount you must earn? A massive objective takes on much more manageability when broken down into smaller, more frequent tasks. Looking forward to the next step makes the mountain appear less daunting than it really is. Big dreams may be scary until you break them down into manageable everyday tasks. Indeed, it is the path to success, continually, day after day. Getting to the peak of a mountain isn't something that just happens to certain people. Climbing, sweating, falling, and getting back up. That's what they did. Moving forward, they persisted. A single victory does not constitute success. Over time, it consists of a string of dogged efforts. The majority of individuals, however, fall short in this area. They depend on inspiration. Inspiration is transitory. When you wake up in the morning, it's gone by lunchtime. At first, it's easy to get pumped up about a goal, but true achievement requires self-control. From accomplishing what you stated you would do long after the enthusiasm has passed. From turning up even when you don't feel like it. That is the defining characteristic of successful people as opposed to dreamers. Imagine it in this manner. Pick the ladder with the smaller, more manageable steps, or the one with the larger, more widely spread rungs if you had to pick between the two. Even if the progress is gradual, it is steady. Trustworthy indeed. They help you reach the pinnacle. The enormous jumps are wonderful, but they can't be maintained indefinitely. The trick is to take little activities every day. Although they may not seem to be doing much, when added together, they generate an irresistible force. Consider any successful businessman, artist, or athlete. What are the commonalities among them all? Computer programs. Force of will is not an issue for them. With them, success is never left to chance. Their growth is guaranteed by the habits, rituals, and structures they establish. It takes more than that for a writer to put pen to paper. They put pen to paper daily. No bodybuilder ever trains when they are in the mood. They push through their emotions throughout training. The life of a millionaire is defined by seizing opportunities as they arise. By consistently taking action, they open doors for others. So, go for something that both thrills and scares you. After that, figure out how to tackle it daily. Simply said, the capacity to act with unwavering determination is the only obstacle preventing you from achieving your life goals. You will not be rescued by anybody. Nobody is going to step in and help you out. It is up to you to ensure your success. However, let's go even farther. The terror of achieving lofty ambitions is something we should discuss. Because this is the reality. There will always be fear. Inadequately ambitious ambitions are those that fail to terrify you. Fear, however, is not an adversary. Experiencing fear indicates that you are venturing out of your comfort zone. This indicates that you are venturing into unknown terrain. Development takes place precisely in that area. A lot of individuals consider fear to be a red flag. As a green light, it appears to high achievers. It is their fuel of choice. To them, excitement and terror are just two sides of the same coin. The rush of adrenaline that you feel when you're afraid is also the fuel that might propel you to take action. Put your fear to work for you instead of trying to escape it. Embrace its guidance. Embrace the task. And last, there is failure. The fear of failure is another factor that causes individuals to settle for mediocrity. If they fail, they consider it the end. Failure, however, is seen by successful individuals as valuable feedback. You can learn from every setback. You can learn from every setback. With each failure comes a chance to hone their approach. Giving up is the only certain way to fail. Consider Thomas Edison. The inventor of the light bulb tried and failed several times before finally succeeding. What is the takeaway now? Failing often paves the way to succeeding. Fail fast, learn fast, and keep going. That's the key. You won't achieve success if you don't risk failing, for the simple reason that success is really the refinement of failure. You have my challenge then. Achieve just one massive, terrifyingly exciting objective. Now dissect it. For the current year, month, week, and even day, what are your essential tasks? Stick to your strategy after you've made it, for as long as it need, not only a few days or weeks. Since luck has nothing to do with success, in this case, skill is irrelevant. The key is to be consistent. The theme is perseverance. Refusing to settle is at the heart of everything. Those who avoid risk never get anything out of life. Those who are willing to challenge themselves will be rewarded. Some people are just not afraid to feel uneasy. They are the ones who will work hard even when no one is looking. You should not strive to be the brightest. You are not need to possess exceptional skill. However, your level of dedication must be unparalleled. Prepare yourself, overcome your fears, create a plan, and then see your life change before your eyes. Third, cultivate unyielding self-control. Let me tell you the ugly reality. Even if they are aware of the steps necessary to reach their objectives, the majority of individuals fail to take them. What they do is dictated by their emotions. Today, I am not in the mood to exercise. This is not the day for me to focus on my company. Early mornings aren't appealing to me. Silently stifling advancement. They are the culprits. Those little nudges toward ease that ultimately lead to passivity. However, emotions have no bearing on achievement. When you're exhausted, uninspired, or lack motivation, success doesn't care. Discipline is the key to success. Doing the right thing, no matter how you feel about it, day in and day out. Inspiration is not what drives the most successful business people, athletes, and leaders. An ephemeral feeling. Motivation is like the wind, unpredictable and transient. Some mornings you feel revitalized and prepared to take on the world. You wake up the next day feeling lethargic, uninspired, and unmotivated. You can't achieve greatness if you depend on motivation, since it would lead to uneven achievement. Extraordinary accomplishments are the result of self-discipline, the capacity to face each day with a positive attitude and do one's best job, no matter how difficult the situation or how much internal opposition one may feel. You do not automatically possess the trait of self-control. Cultivating it is a process. This is a muscle that, when worked, becomes stronger. It is challenging to force oneself to behave when you are not in the mood, but you develop the habit of self-control every time you push beyond your feelings and do what you've promised. At some point, self-control becomes second nature, the rock upon which future achievements rest. The foundation of discipline is repetition. Consistently practicing self-discipline strengthens your ability to manage your thoughts and actions. You may retrain your brain to function at a higher level by persistently acting against your emotions. Regular self-control develops into second nature. A person's character is defined by their habits, and the latter in turn dictates their fate. What ultimately determines the course of your life are the cumulative effects of your everyday choices. But the true question lies here. Do your habits control you, or do you manage your habits? The majority of individuals let their habits determine their destiny and live in a reactive manner. Their everyday habits drive them to mediocrity. They get up, read through their phones, postpone, and create excuses, but they never realize it. You will be controlled by your habits until you do something about it. Being aware of oneself and the patterns one is influenced by is the first step towards becoming an expert. The ability to transform is yours the moment you realize you have it. You need to become very disciplined if you want to progress from good to great. We will not budge on this. Consistency, not brilliance or skill, is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. Many bright individuals fail miserably in life due to a lack of self-control, even when they have immense potential. Knowledge without deeds is meaningless. Unrealized potential is meaningless potential. The capacity to continuously perform in spite of one's emotions is the only differentiator between the exceptional and the average. Consistently putting in the time regardless of how you feel is a sign of discipline. What this implies is that you need to establish and adhere to a standard for yourself. Performing the difficult tasks when no one is looking, when the payoff is slow in coming, and when the effort required is high, those are the times when perseverance is required. On days when you just don't feel like doing anything, when your mind tells you to do nothing, rest and put things off till tomorrow, you should listen to it. Tomorrow, however, is a trap. As the days pass, we go from tomorrow to next week, and then next year. Pretty soon, you'll be reflecting on your life and feeling a pang of regret for all the things you might have done differently. Only by practicing self-control, sticking to your plans no matter what, and believing in yourself completely, can you break this pattern. Developing self-control, then? Begin with a little endeavor. Making drastic adjustments all at once is not discipline. Making little, consistent decisions every day adds up to big changes in the long run. Get up at the appointed hour. Remain steadfast in your promises. Do one extra repetition at the gym if you can. Keep working toward your objectives even when you're not in the mood. The cumulative effect of these disciplined actions will propel you forward. Take away the ability to exit. The world's most successful individuals never give themselves a chance to fail. Emotions are not a negotiating tool for them. They refuse to give in to the temptation of the easy way out. They give it their all because they realize that their discipline determines how far they go. Get out of the way. Your capacity to maintain self-control is greatly affected by your surrounding environment. Staying focused might be challenging when you're constantly bombarded with social media, bad influences, and harmful behaviors. Set up a system that helps you achieve your objectives. Put away all temptations. Put yourself in the company of others who motivate you. Resolve to achieve success at any costs. Welcome the pain. On the road to success, you will encounter obstacles, disappointments, and self-doubt. Disciplined people know that pain is a necessary part of personal development. When you challenge yourself, you build strength, resilience, and capability. When you practice discipline, you learn to welcome hardship with open arms, because it is through adversity that one is molded. Embrace the power to shape your life. You will not be rescued by anybody. Nobody is going to step in and help you out. To achieve your goals, you must own up to your acts, decisions, and outcomes. No more justifications. Leave the blame game at the door. Put an end to procrastination. There is no such thing as the ideal time. Right now is all that counts. Finally, getting there is easy. Though challenging, it is not complicated. Finish the task. Do not waver. Regardless of your mood, you must show up every day. Intelligence, skill, or chance have no role in determining success. Discipline is a personal decision that is at the heart of this matter. Choosing to be your own boss in life. The decision to keep going even while you're exhausted. The decision to soar above average and create an extraordinary life for oneself. The question then becomes, are you prepared to put in the effort required? Would you be ready to commit fully, show up daily, and accept discipline? If you answered yes, then you will inevitably achieve your goals, since self-control is the key that unlocks the door to your dreams. The last remaining concern is your willingness to traverse it. Step 4. Be in the company of outstanding people. No matter how hard you try, you can't escape the influence of others around you. You can't simply use this as a motivating quote. It is an inherent reality of being human. Oftentimes, we don't even realize how much our surroundings impact who we are. Your ideas, habits, and fate are shaped by the individuals you spend the majority of your time with. You are, without ever realizing it, a sum of the people you spend the most time with. Everything about their attitude, routines, and goals, or lack thereof, will find your way into your own life. You are likely to become the sixth broke person in a group of 5 if you hang out with them often. Not because you can't escape, but because their ideology will gradually consume your mind. If you listen to them long enough, you'll start to believe their excuses for failing, gripes about life, and a notion that only the fortunate few can achieve true success. To aim for greatness while those around you are content with mediocrity is a formidable challenge. Your desire will seem like an aberration and a needless battle while you're among their laid-back attitude to life. Eventually, you won't be as motivated and you'll just accept things as they are. This is true in every facet of life, including money, health, relationships, and development. It will be difficult for you to develop ambition, discipline, and a desire for achievement if you associate with people who lack these traits. Because of our social nature, we unconsciously mimic the actions of those around us. If you surround yourself with individuals who put things off till later, find reasons not to do things, and generally refuse to own up to your mistakes, you'll start acting like them. To be sure, the inverse is also true. Choosing to be in the company of ambitious, goal-oriented, and self-improvers will push you to your own personal best. Their enthusiasm will push you to be better when you're with people who won't settle for less. You will be challenged to beyond your own expectations by their work ethic, discipline, and achievement, which will make you examine your own justifications and face your own shortcomings. Exposure, not competition, is the goal here. The moment you see the boundless potential for change, you can never return to limiting thoughts. Who you learn from matters more than what you know when it comes to achieving success. Data is readily available. Reading books and listening to inspirational speeches won't make you a hero. The correct setting is necessary to strengthen it. Surrounding yourself with the appropriate people may speed up your progress like no self-study ever could. You learn things that you never would have considered otherwise. You may see the attitude, decision-making process, and work ethic of top performers firsthand. You may model your own success after their routines. The significance of the individuals you associate with is more than you may think. Depending on your perspective, your social circle may be both a boon and a bane. The force acting upon you might propel you forward or impede your progress. Consider if the people around you are encouraging you to settle for mediocrity, or are they actively working to improve you? Is your comfort zone being restricted, or are you being challenged to grow? Does someone gently nudge you away from your goals, or do they openly applaud them? Though essential, these questions are difficult to answer. Get out of your existing social group if they aren't supporting your goals. Being purposeful about where you put your energy does not imply cutting somebody off rudely or angrily, but it does mean you should be careful. It is your own responsibility to surround yourself with positive, motivating people who will push you to your limits and help you achieve your full potential. Finding a mentor is a great strategy to improve your surroundings. If you want to learn from the experiences of others who have gone before you, choose a mentor. They have been where you are now, and their advice may save you a lot of wasted time and energy. Finding the correct mentor is crucial since they will not only teach you a lot, but also make you work harder. Their expectations will be higher than your own, and they will force you to overcome your fears and limitations. A smart act, not a show of weakness, is seeking a mentor. Mentors play a crucial role in the careers of the most successful people. For them, being in the same room with a brilliant person speeds up their own development. Look for literature as a substitute for mentors if you can't find any. Participate in settings where top performance is expected rather than demanded. Join a mastermind group, go to seminars, and surround yourself with people who are role models for the principles and achievements you want to achieve. Embrace a culture of advancement as your own. You will internalize the traits of an ambitious, hard worker and dreamer the more you are around individuals who have similar traits. Energy is another important consideration. Energy spreads like wildfire. Ambition, excitement, and resolve are contagious, just as pessimism is. Your immediate social circle has a greater impact on your psychological and emotional well-being than you would think. You know what? Being around other driven people really revs you up and gives you ideas. Have you ever experienced the opposite, when you felt exhausted and uninspired after a conversation? No, this is not an accident. How you feel on the inside is highly dependent on the emotional atmosphere in your social group. As a result, you must pay close attention to the energy you are absorbing. Winning people like to hang around with other winners because of this idea. Their outlook, routines, and output are all mirror images of their surroundings, and they know it. When they find a relationship that does not push them to improve, stretch them, or raise their expectations, they deliberately seek it out. They are aware that greatness cannot be attained by oneself. It is shaped by being with others who share your values and refusing to settle. You are ultimately responsible for your own success or failure. Your surroundings, the people you let affect you, and the allocation of your time and energy are all under your control. Is that decision one you're willing to make? Do you intend to take charge of your social life and surround yourself with positive influences? Alternatively, are you going to let yourself be held back by a setting that hinders your own development? It is up to you to decide. But keep this in mind. Raising your expectations is the first step in improving your life. The quickest way to go where you want to go is to be the person other people want to be around. Look for the forward thinking. The discipline will teach you to surround yourself with winners, due to the fact that doing so makes victory a certainty, rather than a mere possibility. Step 5. Move swiftly. Too often, individuals give up because they become mired in a never-ending loop of planning, but never doing. Words on paper captivate them. They create elaborate vision boards that depict their ideal existence in all its detail. However, they are hesitant to take concrete steps toward their goals, especially when it comes time to enter the arena and battle for what they want. They remain immobile. They justify their lack of action by telling themselves they need further time, data, and assurance. And as they sit here in a never-ending cycle of anticipation, their dreams stay just that. Dreams. Someone with a lot of success uses a different approach. They rush forward without asking for approval. They move quickly, seizing opportunities as they arise. They are not the kind to wallow in self-analysis. Rather, they act with speed, determination, and courage. No matter how clumsy an action may be, they know it's better than doing nothing. Because, in the end, mastery is the result of momentum. which is itself the result of motion. This is the unpleasant truth. There will never be a perfect moment. There is no end in sight to the amount of time you waste waiting for things to fall into place, for your worries to go away, or for the perfect circumstances. Uncertainty is a natural part of life. Someone had to take a chance when they weren't sure they could make it pay off. Before they knew for sure whether they would land safely, they leaped. Neither of them could control their steps. Their attempt was unsuccessful. They refocused. However, progress was continuous. It's crucial. You are not in this alone. Acting is not enough. When you see setbacks as opportunities for growth, not obstacles, you unleash your full potential. Despite the terror they may feel, the world rewards individuals who aren't afraid to take chances and try new things. The lack of fear is not what makes someone courageous. Being afraid motivates you to take action. Realizing that fear is inevitable, but that letting it control your actions will lead to inaction is the key. Therefore, why are you hesitant? Does it stem from uncertainty about one's capacity? Anxieties about seeming stupid? Worry about making a mistake? Realize this. In life, you can't always make the best choice. A foundation of flawed activities that teach you a lesson and get you closer to mastery is the succession of imperfect actions that build success. The world's most successful individuals never waited to do anything. Prior to being prepared, they began. They cultivated their art, developed their abilities, and piled success upon success by taking messy, flawed action. Consider the titans of industry, athletics, and the arts. One thing unites them all. They began. They ventured into uncharted territory, driven only by an insatiable need for achievement. Despite facing challenges, they managed to adapt. They took a tumble, but bounced right back. Even though they were rejected, they did not let that defeat define them. It is not innate ability, IQ, or good fortune that separate the successful from the unsuccessful. It is a movement, consistent, self-controlled effort. Aspiring individuals will not be rewarded by the world. Those that do are rewarded, the ones that really do anything with their plans. Those who are persistent and get the job done well. Spectators, wishful thinkers, and hopefuls wait on the sidelines. The players that are really doing the work are out there, competing, making blunders, but also gaining ground. The winners are those who really take action. Therefore, you should choose one thing you can do now, at this second, to get closer to your objectives. Tomorrow is not going to work. Avoid next week. Present day. Take action right now, whether it's contacting that person, composing that first piece of writing, going to the gym, or starting that project. Be less preoccupied. Have faith again. Get moving, because holding off causes you to lose time. Concepts are not sufficient for success. Execution is key. Aims without implementation are meaningless. Execution is the deciding factor for success or failure. It lies in the determination to put in the necessary effort, keeping on even when the going gets rough. To keep going even when everything seems to be working against you. It is now your turn, at least not until you're ready, especially when you think you know what to do. Right now, for the simple reason that being prepared is an illusion. Doing things gets you ready. Being confident is not a process that takes time. It is a quality that develops as you gain experience. Your competence grows in direct proportion to your activity level. Feeling confident is a natural byproduct of developing your skills. With self-assurance, Achievement is a foregone conclusion. Therefore, initiate that action, regardless of the size. For all the unknowns, get moving. Jump in before you're prepared and ride the wave of success. Because success does not always go to the strongest, brightest, or luckiest individuals. They were the ones who really did anything. You are now possessed by that power. Achieving change is as easy as following these 5 steps. Achieve mental mastery. Challenge yourself by setting lofty objectives. Work on maintaining unwavering self-control. Collaborate with top-notch individuals and take bold, unstoppable action. Averaging is simple. One must work for their fortune. It is acquired by making decisions every day. The issue then becomes, what decision are you going to make today? Reason being, destiny does not write your story. It is you who wrote it. Get out there and create the life you really want.